Hello ARK players and welcome back to a brand new video. Now today we are going to be covering some interesting developments in the Snail Games Aquatica drama situation that's going on in the ARK community. There probably won't be another video on this unless Studio Wildcard touch on it in the community crunch, but to be honest, I don't think Studio Wildcard want anything to do with it, and I definitely feel like, I don't know what's been going on in the background, but to me, there seems to be some feeling of just like disagreements between the companies. And how couldn't there be? How could you allow something like this to happen under your game and not feel upset about it? But anyway, we're going to be talking about this. Then we're also going to be talking about kind of some sad things within the ARK community. I don't want to do that because it's Friday, but to be honest, it's been quite an emotional last like day or two since this has happened, and just Snail just grabbing what's so beautiful and just smashing it all onto the ground. And I'm also going to talk about some other ARK content creators as well in this video. So if you do enjoy it, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and come and join us in the LoadedCrysis cluster. Link to that is in the description down below, because it really does support when everyone comes and joins into the cluster. We're trying to build something massive here and become the biggest cluster in the ARK world. So if you are looking for somewhere to play, meet some new friends, it is so friendly. Link to the cluster is the Discord. Anyway, let's dive into it. So you're probably thinking, why is there two DOMs on the screen? And the reason there's two DOMs on the screen is because this is a screenshot from my video from the other day. And the reason why I am showing you guys this screenshot is because something interesting has changed. A lot of people were complaining and saying, why on the ARK Aquatica expansion map does it have developers Studio Wildcard, Instinct Games, and then Snail Games as part of this, because Studio Wildcard have already said they're not part of this. A lot of people responded in the community saying, you know, because Studio Wildcard have developed the game, this is why that they're being put on this, like, you know, their name stamped on this. But to be honest, as a community and your reputation as a community, would you seriously want your company to be stuck onto this piece of rubbish? Because I'm going to be honest, when this DLC releases, I actually think it is going to be terrible. I think it's going to be awful. I think it's going to be unplayable. I think it's going to be, you know, there's no one from Studio Wildcard that have worked on this. I think it's going to be embarrassing. And at the end of the day, Snail, you know, I'm not here just to constantly just constantly send hate towards you, but the reason I'm doing this is because you know it's true as a company. I know you do somewhere deep down. But as you can see, when we come over to the Aquatica Steam page now, you will be able to see that it is now changed on the Steam page from developer Snail Games USA and publisher Snail Games USA. So now I'm guessing Studio Wildcard must have had something to say in this, because now this has changed and Snail Games is taking over the whole entire thing. And yeah. And, you know, and we know that already because of this tweet we had from right from the beginning, before there was even an announcement. ARK Aquatica is being developed by Snail Games Colorado. Please follow them for more updates. Studio Wildcard remains entirely dedicated to production of ARK Survival Ascended and ARK 2, and we're excited to bring ARK Lost Colony to you later this year. So this is literally a whole Snail Games doing. And do you know what? If I was sitting there right now and I was working for Snail Games, one, I don't think I could work for that company, and I don't think any money in the world could make me want to work for how embarrassing it must feel. Because one thing I always remember, you know, is when I was at my old company, is being able to work somewhere where you feel proud is really, really important. And I don't understand how any of them can feel proud in this situation. And the fact that, you know, they were at GDC 2025, and when they were at GDC, they actually stood up there and talked about their DLC expansion, and on their background, on their stand, they had Lost Colony and then Aquatica next to Lost Colony. How could they even have the nerve to put Aquatica next to how much work and effort is going to go into Lost Colony? Because one thing we're all going to be honest to at the end of the day is that Studio Wildcard make the best trailers, and when they do release a DLC, it is top of the range. And I do think we lose sight sometimes of how awesome they look. Now, I'm not saying that Studio Wildcard has absolutely nothing to blame. I'm not, just because Snail is getting all of the hate here. I did notice people talking about that on Twitter, saying, you know, just because Snail's getting so much hate, Studio Wildcard can't now start getting love. But at the end of the day, Studio Wildcard are times 1,000 the company of what Snail Games are. Snail Games have never produced have they, from what I know, when I go onto Snail Games USA, what have they actually produced that is a decent game over time? Like, the fact that they can even put their company as ARK 2 soon to be announced. You know, they've got ARK Survival Ascended here. Bellwright, if they're lucky, is actually a decent-ish game, which is what Snail Games have worked on. But is this, develop a Donkey Crew, and publish a Donkey Crew in Snail Games. So Snail Games, I know they're publishers, but you know, they never truly can do anything that special on their own. It's always working with other titles. They probably, do you remember Dark and Light? Wasn't that like, that was produced by Snail Games, and look at the recent reviews, mostly negative, because I think they completely ditched it in the end. And that's something that you will notice with Snail Games, is instead of really working on a game, like, you know, again, I always bring up No Man's Sky. Instead of really working hard on a game and bringing it to a place of success, it might not be a success as soon as you release it, but you can work on it over time, and there will be tough points, but you know, you can come out the other side and revamp your game. But that's not what Snail Games do. Snail Games will just take everything for granted, and they will ditch a game. And I want to see these recent reviews. Do not buy this game. This is just cash grab, even though it had really had potential to be a good game. But after they didn't work on bugs, content, or anything, they only released a map after launch. That was a completely buggy map. So yeah, you know, you can see all of these comments recently. And yeah, it was, as much as I'm enjoying this game, I can't really rightly recommend it, as it was left by the developers without updates and fixes. So pretty much that's what they do. They take on a game, and if it doesn't make them money straight away at the beginning, they will just throw it away and never, ever use it again or give it any update. And that is pretty much what Snail Games are, and they will never change. I think we're at that situation now where we know that's never going to change. And as a player base, I just think we have to get to a situation now where we know that's the case. So now I wanted to talk about some ARK, what's going on in the ARK community. And obviously, I think, as a long-serving ARK content creator, I wanted to tell you guys what my position is on things, and also what I've seen other content creators to do. So first of all, my position is I will not be covering this expansion pack or giving it any sort of promotion that it's been released or anything like that. If there's anything that I talk about when this gets released, it's just me saying do not play this. I'm not going to give it any love or any support like I have with other stuff to do with ARK Survival, and that's my stance on it. Since this release, other YouTubers, Neddy the Noodle, has decided to go full-time into other games and working on other projects, so he's not going to be creating ARK content anymore. Ras Clark has just recently announced, and he's gone on probably the angriest rant I've ever seen. And do you know what? He sort of tends to stay out of this the drama and the spotlight. And he went on an absolute mad one the last couple of days. And he's just released a trailer saying that he's basically going to be doing other games, and he's not going to be streaming ARK anymore. So pretty much we're in a bit of a position where many ARK YouTubers are feeling the same. My position is that I will be carrying on creating my normal ARK content as I do. My cluster that I run is going to be running as normal, and we're going to keep smashing that out. We've got Ragnarok coming up next, so I will be focusing on getting all of that content out to you guys and giving you everything you need through community crunches and all of that stuff, and that's never going to change in that aspect. Will there be other games on the channel at another point? Yes, there will be. So you'll start to notice over time, like obviously it will be mainly ARK content, but I'm starting to upload like 2 to 3 times a day. at the moment, and that might slow down at some points, but that's kind of what we're doing. And you will notice other games. I did a little bit of Monster Hunter Wilds recently, so obviously we'll be covering any new patches that come out for that. And moving forward, we've got June Awakening coming out. We've got so many brilliant games, and I do find that a lot of us art creators that have dedicated so much time and passion because we love this game have probably missed out on certain opportunities with other games. And I feel like that with Raskalock, because I do feel like the content he makes is top of the range, and I think he is a truly special creator with you know, the way he has his like kind of like attitude towards things. And now he's moving on to like other games. I do think that's going to benefit him. I'm not saying, I don't think he's completely stopped ARK, but I do think it will benefit him in the long run, because, you know, you being able to expose his brand to other games. And I think it's fair for kind of all types of art creators that want to do the same thing, you know, and that doesn't mean that we're all going to go anywhere, but it really gets hard to support something like what Snail Games are. And I truly hope they learn a very, very valuable and hard lesson from what they've tried to do in this, and they're still trying to do this right now. They've managed to go into work today, and they've managed to sit there and somehow put a smile on their face, and still have this absolute, I'm not even going to be able to say the word on YouTube, out in the public. So if I were them, the best way to solve this situation is to put out a massive statement, apologize for what you've done, remove this, and work on something else moving forward. But I know you won't, because all you want to do is try and cash in on the last remaining ARK Survival Evolved players, and you're going to try and sell them a DLC. Right now, you're not telling anyone how much the price is, because you know you're worried about that, but we all know you're going to try and charge everyone like $20 or something for a crappy, I've said a word that I said I wouldn't say on my channel, DLC, and yeah, that's pretty much it. But anyway, later on we have the new community crunch, and we're hoping to get some Unreal Engine 5.5 news there. So as soon as I get that, I will bring you guys that video. But apart from that, I will catch you in my next video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.